so high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the
good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to Full Time Sports Network. Welcome to the Armoury TV. Welcome to Brentford 0, Arsenal 1 match reaction. I have to be honest, I've just done the watch along. I can say this, that was a poor game. We snatched it, we got the winner, and everyone needs to apologise to Kai for me, because look, without Kai today, it would have been 0-0. Simple as that. Kai did the perfect way to score a goal. Didn't just let the pace of the ball from Saka hit his head, it went in. That's the perfect way of doing it. And that's why we brought him on. That's why, he's part of the team. I have to be honest. It was a really, really poor performance. Let's get into the comments that have already been here. Been dreaming of this title for a match reaction. Well done, Kai, my left back. Yeah, thankfully, we didn't see him as left back today, so that's always a positive. The silver one, I've always had confidence in my boy. I hope this pushes him on. I hope this also stops the hate towards him. And it does get personal. And he did, like I said on the watch along, he did not turn up to London Colney, force his way into the club and saying, you are going to sign me. I am going to squat in Arsenal Football Club and you are going to be playing me. It doesn't happen in the world. So, yeah, big up to Kai. I told you he was getting better. He definitely was getting better. So, look, and he's now got the goal. You certainly have, Tony. Evening to my pod brother and all in the chat. Ratman Lee is in the pod. Scapegoat HAVERTZ says Arsenal top. Got my 1-0 Arsenal prediction right. It's how I expected the game to go. Need patience to break Brentford down, and they found it in the end. I will also be honest. Both teams were poor. I was not impressed by Brentford. I was not impressed by Arsenal. It was just a really, really, really bad performance, if I'm honest. You got the win, and that's all that matters. Look, at the end of the day, I've been brought up in generations of Arsenal fans where we can play poorly for the whole game, get the 3 points, and we're happy. And I'm happy. We've got the 3 points. We're top of the league. But it's another game, and this is when I was like 13, 12, when I was a young Arsenal fan, the bad performance where we win weren't too bad because there were performances that got you through it, like good performances, entertaining performances. Currently this season, I've seen one good performance from minute 0 to 90th minute. And that is where I've not seen us this season. that was a poor first half, a poor second half. Kai did change the game. Kai did change the way that we were attacking, the way that we were trying to force a goal. So yeah, I'm happy. Lee Gunner is fuming that Arteta and Kai celebrating with the fans. Leeds needs to stop living in past and live in present. I'll be honest, I loved that. That was the first time I complain about his man management, and he obviously knows how much Kai is getting stick. Rightly so, wrongly so. That's personal opinion. I don't think it's anything to do with Kai. Kai's confidence has been knocked drastically whilst playing at Chelsea. So it is going to take him a while. Plus, it's a new system, a new team. I'm not going to say a new league, but it's definitely a new system, a new team. It does take time. It does take time. We only signed him in the summer. So yeah, I have no issues with it. I'll give credit to Ramsdale. That match couldn't have been easy, 100%. And it wasn't easy going for him at all. I have got your ratings, Tony, so I will go through them in a minute, I promise. HAVERTZ, get in, 100%, says Timmy. We were lucky we played a team worse than us, yes. Back when Bobby was 12, 19. Timmy, how mean? Who the F listens to that? Well, I don't know. I don't know how he's got so many fans. I think people just love being negative against the team. I especially when you're an Arsenal fan, I don't understand why you're negative on your own team. There's a thing called supporting. It's a football club, and you support a football club. It's not, I'm going to attack my football club every single time I can. It makes no sense. Lee keeps banging on about we smashed Highbury down to compete with Real Madrid, etc. I agree with some points he says, but that isn't what I agree on. You're in the present and not past. The thing is, when we did that, obviously we weren't expecting other clubs to be taken over by multi-billionaires who changed the whole face of football. It just didn't work out the way we thought it would. Did it tie our hands behind the back a little bit? A little bit. It did. But football's changed so much since. Look, I miss Highbury. I love Highbury. Highbury is my favourite stadium of all time. Out of all the ones I've been, that is still my favourite stadium. And it's not even my Arsenal bias. I just loved it. It was just a lovely place to go. Proper going around people's streets, people's houses, people saying hello and enjoy the game before you go into Highbury. It was just a lovely atmosphere. My dad's stupid tradition of always stepping into horse manure before you go into the game. Well, yeah, it's just mad. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Right. Anyway, it looks like it's just me. It's doing this, but this is the team that Arteta went with. Yeah, mate, I'll always miss it, mate. It's an atmosphere I'll never forget. Highbury, I loved it, absolutely adored it. People forget we lost the Highbury atmosphere, and that matters. Yeah, we did. The Emirates has only really gained proper atmosphere since the Ashburton Army has turned up, to be fair. And you can say the same about all the big stadiums like that. Etihad is the same. Shithart Lane is similar. It's just weird that these big stadiums just lose the atmosphere, and it's kind of annoying. Molineux is fantastic for atmosphere. I recommend, if you ever can go to an Arsenal away game, or if you're ever in the West Midlands and for whatever reason you fancy going to watch a football game, go to the Molineux. The Molineux is fantastic for atmosphere. It's brilliant. Everyone's ratings HAVERTZ now. They all rejected him back in the day. I didn't. I did say that I know he's a good player. So yeah, for me, I have no issues with it whatsoever. I rate him. I just don't understand why we went to buy him. That's my only issue. But anyway, this is the lineup that Mikel went with. Ramsdale in goal, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Rice, Trossard in midfield. That was my only big question, if I'm honest today. Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. I wouldn't say anyone was fantastic today. I'll be honest. Ramsdale made a few mistakes. Tommy was all right. Saliba was all right. Made a couple of mistakes himself. Gabriel was probably the better out of the two between Galiba. I'm doing what you say now, Tammy. Galiba. Out of the two from Gabriel and Saliba, Gabriel was the better of the two. Zinchenko, decent performance. Rice, decent performance. Trossard, decent. Odegaard, decent. Saka, decent. Martinelli, slightly better. Jesus, decent. No, this is the thing. This was such a bad game that I because it looks like I'm scoring these. It's like I'm going. I don't do scorings, but it looks like I'm going to have to score them today. But we have got Tony Fulbrooks, and guys, get your ratings in as well, please. I really appreciate it. Temi loves Fratton Park and Portsmouth Stadium. Yeah, I know Fratton Park. Galiba here to stay. Mate, I love it. I absolutely love Galiba. It's a fantastic way of doing it. And to be fair, they are a partnership, so why not have them as Galiba? For me, I love it. It always makes me smile every time you put it in there because I know exactly what you mean. And some people are still learning it. And I actually love Galiba. I think it's fantastic. Really appreciate all the love. I'm seeing loads of you right now. Please do hit a like. Please subscribe if you're new as well. But yeah, let's get into some ratings in a minute. The trouble is, Bobby, I just don't want dissent for the Arsenal. Yeah, I agree. Right, let's get into some stats before we get into the actual ratings. So let's start with the XG because it's the top of the page. It was 1.11 for Brentford, 1.52 for the Arsenal. I'm surprised it's that high, if I'm honest, because I didn't see many expected goals. It was really poor. Ball possession, 36% for possession for Brentford, 64 for the Arsenal. 9 shots for Brentford, 15 for the Arsenal. 3 shots on target for Brentford, 4 for the Arsenal. Corner kicks, 1 for Brentford, 8 for Arsenal. All our corners were poor today. Our distribution was just, everything was just not right. It felt like we were in second gear and we didn't want to get out of second gear. That's what it felt like today. It was just a poor performance. Poor Brentford as well. I'm not even going to say Brentford were good because they were really poor. I'm glad it didn't end 0-0 because I haven't had a 0-0 for a very long time. So I'm happy. But yeah, it's madness. Right, let's get into the ratings anyway. I'm going to go into Tony's ratings first before I go into mine. So Tony Fulbrook, who always joins me on the watch along, so big up to you and big up to Temi and big up to Chris that always join me on the watch alongs. Really appreciate the company. So he went through Ramsdale 4, Tommy 4, Galiba. I'm just going to put Galiba 4, Cini 4, Rice 5. Trossard and Odegaard both get a 4. Saka got a 4. Jesus got a 4. Martinelli got a 5. Subs wise, we're only going to score Eddie and Havertz because White and Jorginho came on so late. Eddie got a 4 and Havertz got a 10. Now, my issue with Eddie is, again, if you're going to come on, show that you deserve the starting place because you didn't today. And you had one good opportunity today and it was pathetic. There's no other way of saying it. It was a pathetic shot. I was not impressed. So, yeah. Here we go. Right, Temi. Flapsdale 6, Tommy 7, Galiba 7, Cini 6, midfield 6, attack 6, subs Edison go 3, yeah, Havertz 7, Arteta 6 for picking awkward team, but got the win with subs. Yeah, well, I'll say sub because Eddie did nothing. I'll be honest. I for me, Eddie just didn't do anything today. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love Eddie. He's not the man. He's not the man. If someone offered me 30 million tomorrow for him, I'd take it. I'd snap their hand off. I really would. Because it's just poor. And we're meant to be pushing for titles and cups and trophies now, and Eddie is not the man to come on and do that. He really isn't. So yeah, it's a shame. It's disappointing as well. Right, for the first time. So please get prepared for this because I don't do ratings. Right, Ramsdale. For me, he has to get a 5, and I'm going to score him. Actually, you know what? Oh no, I'm going to have to score him down to a 4. 5 is a 5 is an average for me. I know a lot of people use a 6 as an average, but I use a 5. So I'm going to have to score Ramsdale 4 because he did make some errors today. So I have to be honest with what I've seen today. And yeah, Ramsdale 4. He didn't do anything great, but he did enough errors that worried me. Tommy Asu. Um, he gets a 6. He didn't do anything to get a 7. He didn't have a bad game, but yeah, so a 6 for me. We'll move on to Gleba because, to be fair, I'm going to have to separate both of them today because I do feel that Gabriel deserves a 7 and Saliba deserves just a 6 for me. Saliba looked better when Mope come on. If I'm honest, it's a bit weird. But yeah, Saliba made a couple of errors for me. So Saliba gets a 6. Gabriel gets a 7. Cine. Oh, what do I give Cine? I have to be fair. He didn't do anything wrong, so he gets a 7 for me. Cine. Declan Rice. Rice baby. Didn't do anything wrong. Didn't do anything magical. I'm going to give him a 7 because, again, like I said earlier on the watch along, there's no way anyone's going to get an 8 today. Havertz I'll think about Havertz in a moment. Odegaard. What? Oh, what did Odegaard actually do? Can anyone tell me what Odegaard actually did today? Because I'm struggling. Apart from doing a lot of short passes, I don't know what Odegaard did. I'll be honest. This is why I don't do ratings because they really stress me out. Oh, I can't. I can't give him a 7 because I don't think he did anything to deserve a 7. I'm going to have to give Odegaard a 6. Now, bear in mind, a 5 is an average. So, yeah, he's slightly above average, but he doesn't get anything more than a 6 for me. I'll see Tony's comments in the chat box at the moment. Big up to you, Tony. I'll come on to your comments in a minute, mate. I promise. Saka. Oh, crikey. Trying to think what he did that was positive. Because I've scored Odegaard a 6, I have to go with Saka a 6 as well. Martinelli 7 because he was trying. There was a cross that came in, and I think it was Trossard, Jesus. Can't remember the other. Might have been Odegaard that was in there as well. None of them went towards the ball when the cross came in from Martinelli. So it makes Martinelli look bad, but Martinelli was at least trying. So yeah, he gets a 7. Trossard has to get a 6 because he didn't, it wasn't a bad performance, but he didn't do anything special for me. Jesus. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to give Jesus a 5 because he did literally nothing for me, Jesus, today. It was extremely disappointing, like really bad. Yeah, I wasn't impressed with him at all today. Let's get on to Eddie. Oh, crikey. He did nothing wrong, so he doesn't get marked down to a 4. He's going to have to get a 5 because he did nothing to get a 6. Now, Havertz did come on, did change the game. Did nothing wrong. So he gets a 7. I don't think I can give him an 8 because he wasn't on long enough, and that's how I have to justify it. He didn't do enough to get an 8 because he wasn't on long enough. He came on in the 79th minute. So yeah, and then White and Jorginho. We'll go into the subs here as well because I have got them up here. So obviously Nketiah came on for Jesus in the 65th minute. Havertz came on for Martinelli in the 79th minute. White came on for Saka in the 92nd minute, and Jorginho came on for Odegaard in the 92nd minute as well. Let's give Arteta a rating. Oh, right. Mikel Arteta. Right. See, he does get put down to a 4 because he did put Trossard in midfield, but he did bring Havertz on. So I'm going to give him a 6, and the reason I give him a 6 is because of what he did with Havertz at the end. So yeah, he gets a 6 because of what he did with Havertz. I think that at the end of the game was a very, very good thing for Havertz because Havertz deserved the credit, because without Havertz, I don't think we would win that game at all. And it was the thing is with that goal, it was so intelligent of Havertz to do that, because obviously the ball came in. Now, a lot of players could have just gone proper full in power behind the head, but he didn't. He just let the ball hit his head, which then helped get it past Flecken. Because I honestly do think if you put any power behind that header, it could have gone over. It could have hit Flecken in the chest or gone a different direction. It was very well placed header. So yeah, for me, very, very good from Arteta at the end of the game to give Havertz the plaudits that he deserved. Right. Bobby, everyone knows Nketiah isn't good enough except Howler, Enders or Arteta. Yeah, Eddie's just not good enough. Look, I'm not saying he's a bad player because I'm not. He's just not good enough for where we are right now. That's the thing. If we were mid-table, fine, but we're not. We're pushing. We're pushing for trophies. We're pushing for the title. We're pushing for cups. Eddie's not the man. He's not. If you look at City, they've got Haaland and Alvarez as their 2 strikers. That's the 2 choices they've got, Alvarez and Haaland. Who are you choosing? You look at Liverpool, ridiculous choices for forwards. You got Nunes, you got Gakpo, you've got Diaz. We've got Eddie Nketiah. He's good. He's not our quality. He's just not. I'm sorry. Arteta finished Ramsdale. I think he has. I think Ramsdale's gone. I don't think he'll go in January. I'll be surprised if it is. If it does happen in January, I think it'll be the last minute selling, which would then worry me because have we got anyone to come in to replace him? Because no offense, Cole Hine, you're not ready yet. So yeah, Arteta 4 for being lucky. He was lucky. He made the right decision to bring Havertz on. But yeah, he got away with one today because I think even he was quite disappointed in the performance because it was a really poor performance from Arsenal. And I think we saw the frustration in his own face with the performance from the players because they weren't going the spaces that were being provided. When that cross came in from Martinelli, even he was like, what are you doing? So yeah. Yeah, it's a strange one today. The only positive is Brentford is a hard place to win. It is a proper hard place to win the community stadium. It's such a small stadium, but because they've designed it in a way that the atmosphere echoes, so it feels like a cauldron. It's a horrendous place to go. If you make loads of noise, I think if you sit in certain places, and it's a couple of people, you can literally hear everything. It's very well designed by the architect, I have to be honest. Don't worry, Bobby, I gave him a 10, so that's 7, a 9, and an 8. Arteta gets a 6. Eddie is good enough for Luton Town, not Arsenal. To be honest, you know what? That's a good shout. I don't think Luton have got the money, but Luton would be brilliant with Eddie. They really would. I'm not trying to sell him to Luton, by the way. I don't think Luton have got the money. But yeah, Eddie would be great at Luton. There's a few clubs in our league that he'd be great at. I think he'd be great at West Ham. I think he'd be great at Crystal Palace. Who else? Maybe even Brighton. You know, Burnley. There's a lot of options for Eddie, but I don't think Arsenal's it, mate. We should sell whilst we get the chance. With Nketiah and Hezers, I think we're batting above our averages. Yeah, it's not the greatest two to have, is it? For our striking options, and even Hezers said this week that he's not a striker. That he's not someone that scores a lot of goals. Well, we kind of need that. You know, we are lacking with scoring goals. We've got one today. Yes, our goal difference isn't that bad compared to Man City's. I think we're now 3 behind them. We've all played the same games, so it's not too bad, but it's not great. I just want to quickly look at the predictions, because I did notice when the team was announced that we had 12 lineups yesterday, and strangely, no one got it right. I'm not shocked. But DWTT, so big up to Gary, if you do watch this back. You did actually get 10 players correct. You even got the Saka, Jesus, Trossard, Martinelli front four. Obviously, Trossard was playing midfield, but I'm guessing that's what you meant as well. So big up to DWTT. You did get 10 of them right. Obviously, Ben White was had a knock. He wasn't fully fit. So obviously you weren't to know that. But yeah, so big up to DWTT. Now let's get into score predictions. Gomza Brenny both went for 2-1s, so they kind of got it right with a close fought win. I didn't actually put my prediction down, weirdly. So yeah, interesting. Tony, I know you went for a Brentford win. Canners went for a 2-0 to the Arsenal. Tammy went for 5-0 to the Arsenal. Tony Silver one went for 3-0 to the Arsenal. So yeah, big up to everyone that's did predictions yesterday. It was a hard-fought win. We were lucky to win, if I'm honest. I think Nate Nunes would score for us. Yeah, Nunes isn't bad isn't a bad striker, to be fair. I just don't agree with the amount of money they paid. I don't think it's worth that much. But yeah, we have to go and buy a striker. It's imperative. You know, it's essential now that we go out and buy a striker. But guys, that's it. We are top of the league, thankfully. We have won. We did win. HAVERTZ, thank you very much, because without you, we wouldn't get the 3 points. It's exactly it. It's just like that. Big up to Hussein Fury. No idea. Unfortunately, it doesn't translate for me, so I have no idea what you said, but big up to Hussein Fury. Hope you're doing well. I will be back tomorrow with another Arsenal game. Arsenal playing West Ham tomorrow in the WSL. Great show, Bobby. Calm down for tomorrow. Yes, let's just hope for a better game tomorrow, because seriously, guys, we need a stress-free game, please. This was not stress-free. So yeah, guys, take care. Speak to you all very soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you tomorrow.